In this video, I'll be showing you everything that pertains how to make this amazing shoe displaying on your screen, from pattern drafting to cutting to tracing to cutting to assembling to sewing to lacing and placement. So it will be an amazing video. It will be an educative one at that. So sit back, relax, learn something from yourself. So first thing first, when you get your last wrapped, you take your midline to the back and to the front. What I mean is dividing the last into two. You divide the last into two, then you carve out your quota. Now follow my pen. You can see how I did. First get my midline, then get my quota, then I now put my eyelets, then you're using your cutter now to cut along your tracing. Just watch carefully, please. Watch carefully. I'm cutting my top line. After cutting, just make sure you take out all the excesses. That's the masking tape. Take it out. Once you're done, get your cardboard paper, fold it into two. Make sure it's wide enough to take the whole part of your vamp. Once you detach your vamp, that's the masking tape, now you place. Watch what I'm doing. Place. Now this is okay. You place, then you add your lasting allowance, and you also trace out your tongue. Now check what I'm doing. This is my lasting allowance. 2 centimeters is okay. After that, add 1 centimeter to the length of your tongue, then you carve it out. Now see what I'm doing. That is my sewing allowance. From this side, that is my sewing allowance. Then you now carve the tongue out to join your sewing allowance. Okay, you'll have a midpoint there. Then you cut. Watch carefully. Now this is how to get your vamp. All right, now this vamp contains the tongue and the vamp. Like, after that, you also detached your quota. Now this is your quota. You're not folding your paper into two. You just remove it and place on the paper, then add your lasting allowance. The only thing you're adding here is lasting allowance. Okay, there's no sewing allowance in your quota because your quota will be climbing the vamp. That is why you add your sewing allowance on the vamp, because the quota now will be climbing the vamp. Okay, look at what I'm doing. This is how your shoe will be looking like. All right, so we have our patterns ready. Now we are going for tracing. Now you're going to trace your vamp, your quota. You are tracing 4 of them. That you trace, you turn. That will give you left and right. Then make sure once you are tracing, you have to give some little space for folding. That's your folding. If you are not going to fold, then you pipe the top line of your vamp, of your quota. All right, but here I'll be folding it, so I'm giving little space. If you check, there are space that I can fold. All right, then you now rub your gum on the top line. See where I'm rubbing my gum. Then you cut. Aside from the top line, you are cutting any other place on the line, but when it comes to the top line where I rub my gum, you have to give small space or small allowance for you to fold. All right, so watch. Fold carefully and gently. Neatly you fold. Get the curve here, you fold, then you apply force, right? That's what you do for all of them. After that, you trace your trouser. That's your back cover. Now I'm using 2 centimeter here wide, then the length will depend on the length of your quota to the back. Once you are done cutting it, rub your gum. You also rub your gum on, join the quota together, join them together to the back, then rub your gum, just not too large. Let's say you're using the size of the back cover. Now rub your gum, allow it to dry, then join them to the back, join the 2 left and right to the back, then you place your back cover to the trouser. After that, you go for sewing. Now we have our quota joined together and we are going to sew. Watch, you're using the sewing machine to stitch. That's what I mean. You're stitching it to the back. Watch, you stitch at the edge, stitch round, you stitch. All right, once you're done stitching, add little gum, then you return it. Once you're done with that, you have to have your back stiff pattern. That's what I did. Fold your paper into 2, use the quota pattern to bring out your back stiff pattern. Now watch, I just did that. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed, like the video, share, drop a comment, ask your questions in the comment section. We have our back stiff pattern traced. We are tracing it on Marco 3. There is a very light Marco, so you have to trace it. Back stiff is to make the back or your vamp to the back strong enough, at least firm. Okay, so we'll be burying this inside our quota before we place our lining. So watch. Place. And to give your quota some curve, you see this curve here, yeah, to make it stiff and curvy, right? So I'll be tracing my liner now the same way you trace your quota. That's the same thing you do here, but the different thing here is that you're going to give allowance. Check the allowance I give, at least 1 centimeter allowance away from all your tracing line. This is to enable the vamp now to lap. So after tracing them and cutting them out, you go and sew it to the back. You sew. After sewing, that means, what I mean by sewing is stitching using your sewing machine. After sewing, rub your gum, then open it up. Look at what I'm doing. Apply force. Now the major thing in making the derby is creating your vamp, your quota. That is the major work. Once you can make your quota, then the rest is just simple as ABCD. All right, so watch. Now I'm joining the quota to my lining. Now that is what I did. All right, so after here I'll go for stitching. I'll stitch along the top line. That is, I'm stitching the quota and the lining together now, right? Watch, along the top line. Once you're done stitching, you cut out the x-axis from the lining. So we are done with the quarter. Now we are tracing the vamp pattern. Now check very well. We are tracing the vamp pattern. So derby shoe is all about quarter and vamp. All right, once you have your quarter ready, the vamp is just so easy. You trace your vamp, cut it out, then place it on your lining material and you join it to your quarter. That means the top of your shoe is ready. Just watch, it's easy to do. Please like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment. Ask your questions. I'm joining to lining material now. Watch. Now you're not going to rub your gum all over. You're going to leave some little space to the front where you'll be adding your frontal stiff. Don't forget, you are leaving some little space to the front without rubbing your gum so that you can add your frontal stiff when you are molding your shoe. Right? So it's easy. And you place, make sure you place smoothly, apply force, then you cut. Watch my cutting. So you see what we have. We have our quarter ready. Now you stitch the tongue. After you stitch the tongue, now I'm going to be joining my quarter and my vamp now. Watch. I'm using glue to join now, top gum. After joining, you go for stitching. Now I'll be stitching these places I just marked out. Look at the stitching. Once you stitch, you fold your vamp into two, apply top gum, and you place exactly where you place the first one. You can see. Then you stitch again. Then you mark out your eyelet area. Using your puncher, you perforate. Then you add your eyelets. These are my eyelets. You add. And you use your applicator. Apply force so that they can stick to the top. After that, put your shoelace and you be rest assured that your top is ready. All what you have to do now is getting your shoe last, your floor pattern, and start lasting. Now our top is ready. I'll be using this sole. Look at the sole. It's a very nice sole. This is my cameraman. His name is Onyeka. Shout out to Onyeka. So from here, I'll be lasting the shoe. I've taught you guys how to last shoe before, so I won't be doing much explanation here. Just watch, enjoy the watch, learn for yourself. It's easy. It's easy. Please like, drop a comment, ask your questions. Please, if there are places you don't understand, ask your question, especially from the quota creation. You can ask your questions. If there are any procedures or any process or at any point you are lost, please ask your questions in the comment section. I'll be attending to them. So I'm molding the shoe now. Molding the shoe. I hope you love this. It's easy to do. It's easy to do. Please, you can reach out to me on 0903 553 9885. If you're outside Nigeria, add my country code +234 903553 9885. You can reach out to me on WhatsApp with that number. You can follow me on Facebook as Bin Adei, BINADEYI. That's my Facebook username. So I'm adding my front stiff. You have to melt using fire. Add your front stiff, cut the excesses and scrape it so that you can have a smooth front. Scrape using your hand scraper. Once you're done, this is the reason why I say you're not rubbing your gum on completely on your Vamp earlier on. You can see the reason, because of your frontal stiff. After rubbing gum, allow for drying, then you cover up. You can see, while covering up, please try to get a smooth front. So you use your plier, cover up, and your top is ready. The top is ready. Watch what we have here. Our shoe is ready. I hope you love this. Please drop a comment for me. Thank you.